Hey, thanks so much for stopping by the YouTube channel of the Tech Geeks. We're a group of professionals based across Australia, New Zealand and the UK who love finding solutions for our customers. Hopefully you'll find some gold around this channel. We've got speed tests, we've got how-to guides, rough and readies. It's just about the stuff that we learn and find out, and as many box openings as we can get our hands on. It's always good to be able to actually see the contents of a box and what the device actually looks like. Each month I try and give a little update of where I think the market has got to. Around about stock, as well as new products that are maybe coming out and maybe where I feel some of the market is going. We're here in July 2026, already halfway through this year, and things are here to stay. What is here to stay? Shortage of hard drives and price increases, shortage of RAM and price increases, and supply and demand issues. Why is this? Most of this is actually not driven by the conflicts that we've had around the world in this part of the year already. This is actually driven by the uptake of AI. AI is demanding more storage and more RAM to make those things go. And as we know, storage, RAM and CPUs are actually used in pretty much everything that we sell, whether it be a network switch, a router, an AI-enabled camera, and that brings supply issues. So if you're looking for a hard drive, buy when you see them is probably what we're saying. Some of them are dropping out. Certainly the larger ones are dropping out in time. We're starting to see some of those push to 6 or 7 months now. We're seeing maybe price increases 10 or 20% each delivery cycle, which can be every month or every 2 to 3 months. Price for RAM is expected to keep increasing through 26 and through most of 2027 as well. So just be aware of that. We are going to see continued pricing, and July has been a start of a new sweep of pricing increases across some of the vendors like Ubiquiti, some of the firewall vendors like Fortinet, Sophos, for example, as well. So we are seeing some impact across all of the portfolio that we carry. So what is happening in the market space for supply with many of the vendors that we've got? Well, let's look at wireless first, one of our common ones. So one of the biggest suppliers that we sell, Ubiquiti. Again, a continuing new fleet of products coming out. The EF Core, we've got the ENAS, we've got the ESE enterprise add-on storage device, we've got the U5G backup. All of those have come out recently. Supply is always hit and miss. Do get your pre-orders in and allow yourself 21 days for some of those new products. But we are getting a hold of them, and we do bring them regularly into here in Australia, New Zealand, and make sure they're available in the UK there as well. So with Ubiquiti, like I said, we are seeing some small price increases, maybe that 8 to 10%. A lot of that is just the cost to land them. And then those new products obviously are costing us more to air freight in, and some of those bulkier items obviously incur some pretty heavy shipping costs at the moment. So just allow yourself time, especially for those brand new products. Rugi, some of the popular products have actually hit some supply issues with certainly some of the Air Metro products. They've become a little bit more difficult to get hold of. So if you're looking for big outside installs for the Rugi set of equipment, then maybe do a little bit longer in the supply line. TP-Link, again, we've seen some price increases. We've seen some new start of a new product range, the Fusion set of devices, which is quite exciting. The merging together of camera, network, and routing, which I think will be a good one to watch. You'll see some videos appearing on our YouTube channel for that shortly as well. Supply, actually, in fact, sold out before they even delivered the first batch of those. We were able to get our hands on one for testing. But again, some of those new products as Armada builds, allow yourself those sort of 21 days. And just make sure you've spec'd it out. Come and reach out to us and ask us if there's specific stuff you're after. We can give you an idea of how far away that is going to be. D-Link, another good example, good supply. They have stock here with inside Australia, which makes it a little bit easier. But again, do allow yourself a period of time on those. Then let's have a look at firewalls. Firewalls are a market that is actually fairly stable, and we often say to customers, allow yourself around about 14 working days. WatchGuard is generally one of the quickest shippers. There's a lot of the hardware here already in Australia, and obviously their new range that's just come out makes it super easy to get hold of that. Fortinet, a good amount of stock here, but some of those higher end units do allow yourself 14 days. Now, what have we got? Sonic Wall, we tend to sort of say 14 days as standard, as not much stock is kept here. And Sophos is actually pretty solid, although only a small quantity of items are generally kept here in Australia at a time. So do allow yourself a little bit more of a lead time if you're wanting to get a number of items together. Networking as a whole, you know, those switches and everything else, I think they're all being hit in the same way. We're seeing price increases of those. They need a certain amount of RAM to work, and some of the raw components are going up in price. Then cameras. Where are we with cameras? There is always a fleet of new cameras coming out. Ubiquiti keep releasing. We've got things like the G6 Mini Dome, great small little camera that's just come out. Again, 14 days delivery time on those. Reolink have just restocked a load of their stuff here in Australia, but generally keep bringing out products, and their supply line is pretty solid at this moment in time. We're still seeing the Vigi, the TP-Link VG range increasing, and if you're specifically after some of the metal chassis cameras for that, do come and ask us. We can give you some delivery times generally in stock as well. Look on this space, we've got some stuff coming from Watch AI, a new vendor to the market space, which I think has got some great opportunities and some great cameras coming for that as well. So there is a good range of cameras around and a fairly good amount of stock. If you're looking at things like the Meraki side of cameras and that, you know, you are needing to leave your 35 to 60 days on some of that delivery. So that is a really quick rush through, I guess, of our core bits. Where do I see the general market going as a whole? I think the whole adoption for AI is starting to cross all of the boundaries. We're starting to see tools that are being developed that will link and interact with everything that we've got. So it's exciting to start to see more what we would have seen in the security marketplace when we talk about network detection and response, where switches and routers are sending information back to a central logging system and we're getting alerts. I think what we're going to start seeing more with AI, certainly from companies like Ubiquiti, is telemetry information coming from everything, whether it be switches, access points, routers, cameras, and that we're able to analyze and bring out information really quickly to the surface very cost effectively. And I think we're about to create solutions where firewalls and switches and access points and cameras all can collaborate together. Doesn't mean that they necessarily interact, but we're getting usable information that we can then act on. And AI is helping surface to the top something that is useful to act on. So I think we're going to be seeing an even greater push towards that single pane of glass, but more than just a single pane of glass, a way of being able to categorize and know what actions we should be taking on some of that equipment that we run. Hopefully that's given you a bit of a rundown of where I think things are and the market space. I hope you find some gold around our channel. Please do subscribe and stay up to date.